Welcome back to Mac Talks Football, and Tottenham Hotspur have been involved in a new transfer saga, a new saga which has resulted in them being the hijackers and not the hijackee. They have hijacked Xavi Simons' move from RB Leipzig to Chelsea, and they have gotten him to come over to the north side of London instead instead of going towards West London. They have agreed a 60 million euros fee with RB Leipzig for Xavi Simons. Their personal terms have been agreed with the player as well, and he is going to be announced as the new Spurs player in the next in the next few hours, and it has happened really fast. Within the last 24 to 48 hours, Spurs have swooped in. They have negotiated with the club, they have negotiated with the player, and they have agreed the deal, and they have thrown Chelsea out of the way. A club that has agreed personal terms with the player since the start of July, since the middle of July, to be accurate enough. Chelsea had agreed terms with Xavi Simons, and it looked for all money that Simons was going to end up playing football in London. He was going to end up playing football at Stamford Bridge, but Spurs have come in the last 24 to 48 hours, and they have thrown, as I said, they pushed Chelsea away, and they have gotten Xavi Simons to sign for them. It has all been all but been confirmed, and we are just waiting official announcement from Spurs that they have gotten Xavi Simons from RB Leipzig instead of him going to Chelsea. I mean, he was in London last year. He came to London, and it looked like the deal was going to get completed, and surprisingly Spurs came out of nowhere in the last 24 hours. They were interested, but it always looked like Chelsea were on the front seat, that they had more chances of signing him. But as I said, Spurs have come in, they have pushed for the deal, and they have finally gotten it over the line. And I mean, it's an amazing signing for Spurs. Simons is an amazing player. He can play that number 10 role, which they really need. He can play as a number 8 as well. He can play on that wing side as well. He can play as a second striker as well. So he is going to come in, and he's going to solve the multiple issues for Spurs, especially after that a James Maddison injury. Everybody knows Spurs needed a ball carrier. They needed a number 10, a player that can come in and who can dictate the play, and I think Simons is going to come in, and he's going to end up doing that job. They really wanted to sign they really tried to sign multiple players for that position, but it kept on failing. They were not really able to sign the players that they wanted, and they were on the lookout, especially after the debacle that happened with Spurs were really in the market, and they were trying to get somebody over the line to fix that issue. And I mean, they have really hit the nail on the head with this one. As I said, it's an amazing signing, and especially I would say it's the way that they have done it. It feels almost similar like 1 week ago they were being joked about by everybody that Arsenal have come in and they have made a fool out of Spurs, and they have gotten their player. And to be very honest with you, Spurs have done the same thing this week against Chelsea. They have come in and they have gotten a player that was basically ready to come to Chelsea. He had agreed personal terms, and as I said, it looked for all money that he was going to end up at Stamford Bridge, but Spurs have come in and they have done the deal. As I said, it's a really good signing. He's going to come in. He solves multiple issues for Spurs. He is an experienced player. He has played in the Champions League. He is the sort of player that that can really turn the game on his own. He can win you games single-handedly, and he's going to be a really good playing behind strikers like Vikram Solanke. I think Solanke is going to be really happy with Simons dictating the play, sliding in the through balls that are really going to be helpful for him. As I said, he can play on that left hand side. He can play as a second striker as well, so he can really go ahead and play multiple roles for Spurs. And I think Thomas Frank is going to be really happy with that signing. He's going to be really chuffed. I think this is one of those signings that can sort of define Spurs season, if I'm being very honest with you, because they really needed a star signing, and I think Xavi Simons is that signing. Simons, on the other hand, again, it's a good move for him. Of course, as he said, he preferred to go to Chelsea, but he is going to end up playing for Spurs. He's coming to the Premier League, a new chapter for the player. He wanted to play in the Champions League. This is a World Cup year. He wants to be play in a good league. He wants to play supposedly in the best European competition as well. And Leipzig were not going to be there and him coming, I think this was one of the biggest factor there why he wanted to leave Leipzig, and he wanted to try himself in the Premier League. As I say, of course, his preferred option was Chelsea. He waited almost more than a month. As I said, the personal terms with Chelsea have been agreed since the start and almost middle of July. But Chelsea were not really able to match their prices with Leipzig. They were not really able to get the deal over the line with Leipzig, and Spurs have just swooped in, and they have paid the big money that they really should have, for basically as well, but they hesitated in that regard. But today they've gone ahead and they're done the deal, and Xavi Simons is going to be coming in and playing for Spurs. I think this is a big move for him in a way that he's now going to be sort of a main man. He's going to be the star player of this Spurs team. You have other players in that team, but I don't think nobody is of is at the caliber that Xavi Simons is. So he's going to be the main man of that team, and I think he's going to really enjoy that. He's going to be the one that the players and the fans and the manager are going to look towards when they really need something done, when they are going to be in a tricky situation. Simmons is going to be the guy that everybody's going to be looking towards, that come on now, do something, take us out of this problem because you are our main man. I think he's going to really enjoy that. And again, as I said, it's a World Cup year. He wants to play continuously. He wants to play in the big competition to have a place for the next year World Cup. The Leipzig, they always wanted to sell. They were ready to sell him, and they wanted a certain amount of money, which unfortunately Chelsea were not really willing to pay, which is again quite surprising, because knowing Chelsea, no, I don't understand why this move didn't really materialize. But they were happy with the Spurs delegation. They were happy with the amount that Spurs were willing to pay, and as I say, they knew that he was going to leave, so they just wanted a good amount because how important he has been, and they get that 60 million euros for Spurs, which Chelsea were not really willing to pay, and they sent him. Chelsea, I mean, this is quite interesting that Chelsea have lost out to a player that they agreed personal terms, so a player that it looked like that really wanted to join them, and they've lost out on him, and they've lost it out to Spurs. I think that is going to sting a bit for the Chelsea ownership, for the fans as well, that Spurs have come in and they've spoken, and they basically stolen their player. They have hijacked the deal, and they have gotten a player that Chelsea really wanted. Again, I really never really understood the Chelsea to Simmons to Chelsea deal, because I really don't think that Chelsea needed him that much. But the fact that they have already agreed personal terms and whatnot, and they were trying to get the deal over the line, and they ended up missing their deal, I think it's still gonna hurt Chelsea in a way, because one of your biggest rivals have gotten a player that you really wanted. Even though I don't understand why they wanted him, but I sort of get it why the fans are going to be pissed off about it, that Spurs were really able to go ahead and get the deal over the line. So an exciting deal for Spurs, a massive deal. A big star is coming to Spurs, and the last 24 to 48 hours of the transfer deadline, they have started in the jam, in a really big way. Newcastle getting that a big deal with Aubameyang leaving Stuttgart, and now Leipzig have lost Simons to Chelsea, to Spurs. Sorry, see, again, it feels like he was going to go to Chelsea, so it's still on my mouth. But as I said, a massive deal, Xavi Simons to Tottenham Hotspur. That is for me. Let me know what you guys think of this deal. Do you think it's going to be a good signing for Spurs, or do you think it is going to end up being a bust? Let me know in the comment section below. Like the video, share it as well. Click on the notification bell, and of course subscribe to the channel. Until next time, bye bye.